second kid underwater. She said it's much less traumatic for the baby. It was pretty traumatic for the other people in the hot tub.
Oh, of course, that was comedian Steve Solomon, who I'm so excited to welcome to the show before he heads down to the Bay Area here in the middle of the month. Steve, it's good to see you. How you doing?
I'm really good. Everything's terrific. I'm delighted I'm back on the road. That was, but that's really great. I can't wait to get back to the Van Wezel and see all my old friends. I haven't been there in a year or two.
I was going to ask you that if you were gone for a few years from the scene because of what happened with the pandemic, and what are you bringing into the Bay Area? What can we expect from this show that's so popular?
Well, in the 16 months that I was stuck in the studio, I rewrote a lot of the show, and it's so much fun. I've added characters. I do about 20 or 30 different characters and voices. And my granddaughter got old enough. She spent some time with us, and so I'll be doing her characters. Everybody relates to the show. It's a lot of fun. You'll have my mama, my papa, and my sister, the smoker. She'll be back.
Oh my goodness.
Steve, okay, true story. Even when I just say the name of your show, my mother's Italian, my father's Jewish, and I'm in therapy. That makes me laugh. I'm one of those that have always kind of thought it was funny to look back at where we were. I tend to use my Italian mother-in-law as some of the material here on the show.
Oh.
Sometimes that doesn't go over very well, but I like to have fun with it. What do you think the difference is that you're able to take things that you grew up with, put that spin on it that gets everybody laughing, no matter what their heritage may be?
Because they relate. They relate. The stories aren't just Jewish and Italian. The stories are mama, papa, daddy, granddaughters, and doctors, TSA people, everybody I interact with on a daily basis. And they just walk out. They go, yeah, that was my uncle. That was the TSA guy I remember. Or when I saw my granddaughter and she looked at me, she says, "Grandpa, could we get some clothes for those ladies on your computer?" I'm sorry,
Oh,
what?
no.
What was that? What was that? So everybody's in there, and they were relate. And my parents, they're in their 90s, and they still get a kick out of it.
Now, the question is, are you still in therapy, or what are you bringing from that into the mix?
Between me and your viewers, I've never been in therapy. But and I know things have changed, but the therapy I grew up with was the back of my mother's hand. That was my therapy. That was the way it was.
It's okay.
And other than that, it's been exciting, especially when they react to it. My mother always says, "I don't talk like that. I don't argue like that. And if you say I do, I'm going to hit you." What can I tell you?
And the show goes on, is what you can tell us, because approaching 10,000 performances since this show opened. I love how you are able to do all of these impressions, because I attempt to do impressions, Steve. A lot of mine not so good. So I'm looking at you like, maybe advice, not, for me per se, since I'm doing the talk show thing. But what about these people who are watching you, these young comics out there who see the success of what you've been able to do, laughing with your family heritage, laughing along with your impressions to make these record numbers?
Your point is well taken. And in fact, a lot of the comics I do see from 20 years ago when I was trying to do stand-up and I was too old, I was everybody's grandfather. They all say to me, "Listen, you went in this direction and we're still here." And I wish them the best, but I couldn't butt heads with the 20-year-olds, because I would do my father's voice, and they don't relate to, son, 20 years ago, I was, and they don't relate to it, and they can't do that. So that's my gift. My gift is listening, hearing the people, hearing all the dialects in the communities that I grew up in, and impersonating them. I don't make fun. I impersonate them, and that's the key.
Very important. And the nostalgia, too, that comes along with all that, because then we kind of go back to our youth and explore all that. And we're like, okay, yeah, we went through that as well.
Yeah, you did. And but when I talk about my parents, my mom being Italian, my father being Jewish, they said, "Did they fight?" I see you got to the point sometimes when my father started looking at his burial plot as a vacation getaway.
There you go. Steve, I'm so glad you were able to bring us some laughs here on the Morning Blend. We want to make sure, though, and go ahead and share the information so people can get tickets, because you are coming down Monday, March 21st, 8 o'clock. And like you've already touched on, given the pandemic, though, you use the time to even add more. So I'm sure you're going to see some repeat patrons and also some new ones out there, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree to it. They're going to be surprised with all the new material, and I've had a lot of fun bouncing it off my family, and it's going to be terrific. I really look forward to coming back to the Van Wezel.
Us
Sounds
too.
amazing, of course. And like Natalie mentioned, March 21st at 8 p.m. at the Van Wezel Performing Arts Center or for Performing Arts Hall in Sarasota. And of course, all the information on your screen. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, ladies. You be well, be healthy, and remain COVID-free.
Same to you, Steve.
Take care. Thanks for the visit. Bye-bye.